Imagine a house that is on fire. You escaped it once. You felt the smoke in your lungs, the heat on your skin, the terror in your heart. And yet, you find yourself standing on the sidewalk, watching the flames, and feeling an undeniable, illogical pull to walk back towards the front door. Every part of your conscious mind screams, "No. It's dangerous. It will only burn you again." But a deeper, quieter, and far more ancient part of you whispers, "But it's home." This is the agonizing paradox of going back to what broke you. It's the late-night text you know you shouldn't send. It's the job you know is crushing your soul, but you can't bring yourself to leave. It's the family dynamic you swore you would escape, but find yourself recreating. It's a pattern that can leave you feeling weak, foolish, and drowning in a sea of shame. You ask yourself the most painful question of all. Why am I doing this to myself? What is wrong with me? If you have ever asked that question, I need you to listen very closely. There is nothing wrong with you. You are not weak. You do not love pain. You are not a failure. The reason you keep going back is not a flaw in your character. It is a feature of your survival wiring. You are not being pulled back by a desire for pain. You are being pulled back by a deep, powerful, and ancient part of your brain that is desperately trying to find safety, to finish a story, and to finally go home. Let's start with the first, most fundamental reason. Your brain mistakes what is familiar for what is safe. Imagine your brain is a cartographer, and its only job is to keep you alive. It would rather have a perfectly detailed map of a dangerous, dragon-filled land than no map of a peaceful, undiscovered one. Why? Because it knows the terrain of the dangerous land. It knows where the dragons hide. It knows the sound of their wings. It has developed strategies to survive there. The pain is a known landmark. The anxiety is a familiar weather pattern. The peaceful land, however, is a complete unknown. There are no landmarks. The quiet feels unsettling. The safety feels suspicious. If you grew up in an environment of chaos, inconsistency, or emotional distance, your nervous system learned to operate in that state. The adrenaline and cortisol of the bad times, and the desperate relief of the good times, became your energetic baseline. So now, as an adult, a healthy, stable, and peaceful situation can feel boring, or even frightening. Your nervous system doesn't know what to do with calm, so it subconsciously craves the familiar chaos. It is drawn back to the fire because it knows how to survive a fire. It does not yet know how to live in a warm, quiet, and peaceful house. The second reason is the ghost of unfinished business. There is a concept in psychology called repetition compulsion. It's the idea that our subconscious mind is trying to go back to the scene of an original wound, usually from childhood, to get a different outcome. You didn't just fall in love with a person who was emotionally unavailable. You fell in love with a second chance to win the love of an emotionally unavailable parent. You didn't just get a demanding, critical boss. You got a new opportunity to finally be good enough for the caregiver you could never please. Your mind is a brilliant director, and it keeps recasting the same play from your past with new actors in your present. It is desperately hoping that this time, if you just try a little harder, if you're a little smarter, a little more loving, a little more perfect, that this time, the play will have a different ending. This is not a conscious choice. It is a deep, subconscious drive to heal the past by reliving it. You keep going back to what broke you, because you are trying to convince the original wound that it can finally be healed. The third, and most powerful reason, is the addictive nature of the trauma bond. This is the secret that keeps so many people trapped. Toxic relationships are not bad all the time. If they were, they would be easy to leave. They operate on a devastatingly effective cycle of abuse or neglect, followed by moments of intense kindness, apology, or love bombing. This is called intermittent reinforcement. It's the same principle that makes slot machines in a casino so addictive. During the bad times, the fights, the silence, the neglect, Your body is flooded with stress hormones like cortisol. You are in a state of pain and desperation. Then, they give you a moment of affection. A kind word. An apology. A good day. Your brain is flooded with powerful reward chemicals, like dopamine and oxytocin. The relief from the pain is so intense, the high is so powerful, that it becomes an addiction. You are not addicted to the person. You are addicted to the cycle. You endure the crushing lows because you know how incredible the relief of the high will feel. You keep walking back into the burning house because you are addicted to the momentary bliss of the fire being put out. This is not love. It is a biochemical addiction, forged in the fires of inconsistency and pain. So how do you break the spell? How do you finally leave the burning house and not look back? It does not happen with shame or brute force willpower. That only makes the pull stronger. It happens with compassionate understanding and a few brave steps. First, you must name the bond for what it is. Look at the dynamic and say, out loud, this is not love. This is a trauma bond. This is a familiar pattern. This is an addiction. When you take away the romanticism, you take away its power. You see the cage for what it is, not for the home you wished it would be. Second, you must grieve the hope. This is the hardest part. You are not just leaving the person or the situation. You are leaving the possibility that it could have been different. You are grieving the future you imagined. You are grieving the good version of them that you saw in those fleeting moments. You have to let that dream die. And that is a grief that deserves to be honored. Third, you must go no contact. Like any addiction, you have to cut off the supply. This means blocking the number, deleting the photos, muting on social media. This is not an act of immaturity or cruelty. It is a necessary act of detox. You are giving your nervous system the space it needs to withdraw from the chemical cycle and find a new baseline. And finally, you must create a new familiar. Your brain needs a new map. You must patiently and deliberately teach your precious nervous system that calm is now safe. Create small, consistent routines of peace. A walk every morning. A cup of tea every afternoon. A safe and steady friendship. At first, it will feel boring. It will feel wrong. That is the feeling of your brain recalibrating. You are gently carving new pathways, drawing a new map, one that leads not to the familiar fire, but to the quiet, peaceful, and truly safe home that has been waiting for you, inside of yourself, all along. You are not broken for going back. You are profoundly human, wired for connection, and filled with a hope that is so powerful it will walk back into a fire just for a chance at warmth. The bravest act of your life is not to never fall. It is to recognize the fire, to honor the pull, and to choose, one day, one moment at a time, to finally walk the other way. If this video was helpful for you, please show your support by clicking the like button. And to continue this journey of healing, subscribe to the channel and turn on the notifications. Finally, if you know someone who is struggling with this painful cycle, please share this video. It might be the moment of clarity they need to finally choose themselves. Thank you for watching. You are worthy of a safe home.